I'm Naveed, and in this video I'm going to be talking about consciousness and how that relates to reality. For the purposes of this video, we're going to assume you, as the viewer, are a conscious being, and this all is actually happening in reality. So, what is consciousness then? Well, since you're conscious, let's take you for example. You're awake, and you're sensing things around you. That is the external things, for example, temperature, the light, what you're listening to right now. There's a lot of things that you're sensing internally as well. For example, your mood, or are you hungry, or something that you're thinking about in particular. All of these are, of course, part of reality. But then there is things that are part of reality, but you're not conscious or you're not aware about them. For example, you can understand what I'm saying because there is some amount of linguistic processing going on in your brain. But are you aware of what the processing is? Can you deliberately make it stop? You probably can't. So it is reality, but you're not conscious about it. And then there is qualia. Sensory inputs is one thing, and then you experience all of that. You experience pain, you experience the color of the screen, you experience the light on this slide. This is all reality, and it's all experience. These are the core concepts I will be relating to when I elaborate a little bit on reality. Now, for consciousness, every field of science has tried to give a definition, be it cognitive, be it neurosciences. Every field has a definition. For the matters of this presentation, however, I'll be focusing on the philosophy. We get three distinct ideas in philosophy, that of dualism, reductionism, and reflexive monism. Dualism is basically the idea that your mind and your brain or your body are separate. The brain is more like the processor that does all the processing for you, and the mind is where you experience the outputs to those processes. In a way, this is like a theater. The auditory and the visual outputs are sent to that theater, and your consciousness is what experiences those. And that theater is your mind. This theory, however, does not explain where the mind actually is. One more important thing it misses out is it does not distinguish between experiences that are generated by external or internal stimulus. This brings us to reductionism. Reductionism is a step away from dualism and one step closer to monism. And although reductionism still does believe that there is a brain and there is a mind, it does not believe experiences happen in your mind. According to reductionism, experience is nothing more than a state of your brain. Then comes monism. Monism is the exact opposite of dualism, and they believe that there is no mind, and all the experience does not have to be internalized to your mind in order for you to experience it. You experience things as they are out there in the real world. I will elaborate this further with an example of a cat. You observe the cat, which means that the light rays enter your eye, there's a lot of neural activity going on, and then you achieve a neural representation of the cat in your brain. But this is still not experiencing the cat, or not experiencing the reality of a cat, because that happens in your mind, and that, as mentioned here, is the percept of the cat in the mind of the observer. Reductionism is a little bit different from this in that they do follow 90% of the same thing, whereas light rays enter your eyes, there's neural activity, and a representation of a cat is achieved. However, the experience or the percept of the cat is nothing more than the state your brain achieves when it has that neural representation of a cat made out in there. Monism gets away with all the percept idea that it has to be internalized. Light rays enter your eyes, you have a neural representation of a cat, and you experience the cat not internally but externally in the real world. Now this begs the question, then what exactly is reality as per these three concepts? For dualism, reality is something that you experience internally, and it's disjoint from where the stimulus came from. This begs the question that the idea of the movie Matrix can be possible or not. As for dualism, it can be, because your mind is not registering where the inputs came from. It's just experiencing the experience, so to say. So if your brain was just stimulated in the right way, you would be able to experience a cat or the world around you, or a smell or temperature or any technical sensation. However, that idea would not be there in case of monism, because monism believes that you experience things out there from the source of the sensory stimulation. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching.